Coming up on this episode of the Goldilocks Zone, we are returning to our discussion of the oceans. That's right. We're going to talk about ocean things like water, which is what most of it is, and all kinds of other amazing things. We've got a fun list, and we're going to render our final verdict on the ocean, under, over, or appropriate. You're not going to want to miss it. We recommend you stick around for this episode of the Goldilocks Zone, which is starting right now. You're entering the Goldilocks Zone, episode number 15, recorded June 10th, 2015. Another one about the ocean. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Goldilocks Zone, the podcast that dares to judge the ocean. I'm Sean Jennings, and I am not joined by Matt Mariani because at the terrible, inconvenient time, he dropped off the call. So we're going to get him back on track. While we're getting him here, I would like to tell you, fine folks, about this show, The Goldilocks Zone. GoldilocksShow.com is the website. Go there, find out more, get links to all of the episodes, and I also want to tell you, we are now on SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/GoldilocksShow. Check us out there. It's got all the cool SoundCloud features of commenting and tagging and sharing and posting on social media. It's kind of a cool new way to get the show, so we recommend doing that there. Matt, are you there? No, Matt is not there. We're going to continue to try to get him on the line. We're also at Goldilocks Show on Twitter and Facebook.com/Goldilocks Show as well. While we continue to ring Matt, I want to remind everybody, last week on the show, we talked about the oceans. We did a big list of stuff we went through. Some of those we agreed on, a few we didn't. This week we are back, and we're going to talk even more about the oceans. And I'm going to continue to try to get Matt on the line. Why don't we pause the recording for a second here? We'll be right back. And we're back with the man who's one half man, half fish, all podcast co-host. It's Mr. Matt Mariani.
How we doing today, Mr. Sean? Captain Sean of the SS Goldilocks Skipper. How we doing?
Her Majesty's service. Yes, I am thrilled to be here. I'm excited to be back with the oceans.
Yes, the oceans. Another oceans episode.
Another, as if you thought we didn't have enough to talk about the oceans. There's
ocean.
More.
We're both ocean experts.
We are. At
least this week. Who knows what we'll be experts in?
I was going to say, we're usually an expert in whatever that week's topic is. Self-proclaimed experts for sure. So Matt, we're going to do this again, sort of casual rapid fire style. We're going to go through a bunch of stuff. I've got my list. I know you've got yours.
Yeah.
And we're going to bounce some ideas back and forth. As well. So, do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I think that I would like to go first this week.
Go for it.
All right. Sturgeons.
The guys with the scalpels who cut into people. And,
no, not surgeons. Sturgeons. Sturgeons.
I don't know anything about what is a sturgeon, Matt? Please tell me.
Sturgeon. Okay. And this might surprise some of you, because it certainly surprised me. A sturgeon is a type of fish. It's very long. It has a flat under region, like flat stomach underneath. It's a very popular food. Maybe we could pull up a video of a sturgeon swimming around.
Actually, we can do exactly that.
Yeah, with this new technology we have here.
It's going to take me a second here, but you keep talking.
Okay, I'm going to keep explaining about sturgeons. They're native to the subtropical and temperate climates of most subarctic rivers. Subarctic. So very, very cold. Right? So, yeah, there's one of them. It's a creepy looking thing.
Very ugly fish.
Yes, they're I believe they are bottom feeders. They're also anadromous, which was a word I didn't know until I researched sturgeons. Anadromous fish migrate from the sea into fresh water to spawn. And that's opposed to catadromus, which go from freshwater into sea water to spawn. So there we go. Anadromous and catadromus. Now, the thing about also with sturgeons is that their caviar, okay, is considered to be one of the most luxurious caviars in the world. Second only to beluga caviar, which of course comes from the beluga whale. I'm not really sure why that is, that this caviar is so much fancier than most other caviars, but sturgeon caviar is a very, very prestigious luxury food. However, the sturgeon is at the risk of extinction. It is an endangered species, most likely because of its reputation for a tasty delicacy, as well as its the overfishing of its caviar, its eggs for tasty caviar. So that being said, I would like to render my verdict on the sturgeon.
You go for it, Matt.
The sturgeon, therefore, is highly, highly overrated.
Whoa!
It's overrated. I don't really understand why a bottom feeder is getting so much attention that it has to basically be hunted into extinction.
Wow. That is a bold bit. Now, Matt, my question for you is, how did you possibly pick the sturgeon as something you wanted to talk about on the show tonight?
That is a very good question, Sean. I would have to say that it's basically because I thought it had a funny name. Sturgeon sounds a lot like surgeon, and I was kind of hoping that my co-host would inject a little humor by making a pun out of the name.
You set me up
sturgeon.
for the joke, is what you're saying.
I set it all up for the joke,
shit.
but I did all the research behind it. So we learned a little something, though,
We did.
in the process about anadromous and catadromus. I butchered the pronunciation of both of those, but yes. So there we have it. The sturgeon, and there it is again. The sturgeon migrates from seawater, ocean water, to go lay its eggs in fresh water. That makes it anadromous bottom feeder. Well, it doesn't make it a bottom feeder, but it makes it anadromous in the fish scientific world.
The people come here for the laughs, they stay for the science.
That's right. We're doing a service for all the kids out there
I'm
who now
certainly
just learned a
learning.
new word. Yeah.
So, sturgeon, you know, I didn't have an opinion going into this, really, one way or the other. But, you know, I've read through the Wikipedia article, which is how I get all my scientific facts.
It's a good way to do it.
I'm going to say I think it is underrated. I'm
Oh,
going to go
okay.
the other way. And here's
And why is that?
3 reasons. One, I actually think it's not that ugly of a fish. I think it's a cool looking fish. That's one. 2,
Okay. That's your opinion.
yes it is.
And you're sticking to it.
Number 2, they have been referred to as primitive fishes because they've remained relatively unchanged since their earliest fossil record. That's kind of cool. Like, they're basically like dinosaur fish. Like, they haven't changed. So I'm going to give them credit for that.
Okay, that is pretty cool.
And 3, and perhaps the most cool thing of all, is that in England and Wales, the sturgeon, along with whales and porpoises, is a royal fish. And
Wow.
every sturgeon caught in those countries is property of the crown.
Oh yes, I did read that. I did come across that in my research. I remember that.
That is
All right.
awesome.
Okay. That is pretty cool. A royal fish. Okay. I would really like to see if any listeners out there have the story behind why the sturgeon is a royal fish. What made it royal? Maybe a little history behind it. Please do let us know.
Yeah,
'Cause I bet that has a cool story behind it. I bet like a sturgeon saved like Prince
Edward's
Edward's
life or
life
something. Yeah,
at some point.
Oh,
Or
maybe.
you know, maybe King Henry VIII was fishing in one of the royal fisheries, and he caught a sturgeon, and the surgeon spoke to him and said, "You need to leave the Catholic Church
Whoa.
and go request a dispensation from the Pope to annul your marriage." I don't know. Maybe maybe that's what made the surgeon a royal fish.
How about that?
Who knows?
It says here, under current law, the receiver of wreck is the official appointed to take possession of royal fish when they arrive on English shores. So
the receiver of wreck.
The receiver of wreck. It is an official title. It is an official who administers law dealing with wreck and salvage in some countries having a British administrative heritage.
Okay. Well, it's definitely something that
I just repeat what Wikipedia says, man.
Yeah, that makes the sturgeon a lot more interesting. I like that.
So I'm good.
I'm sure our listeners will appreciate that.
Very good. The sturgeon, not the surgeon. Very good. Good.
So that's the sturgeon.
Good discussion, Matt.
Good. Now I believe it is your turn to pick our next ocean-related topic.
And we're going to go with something we could have talked about on our conspiracy episode, although it is not technically a conspiracy, and that would be the Bermuda Triangle. We didn't talk about this last week, right?
We did not. We mentioned it after the show as a potential topic for this show.
And we're going to talk about it. Also known as the Devil's Triangle, it is the loosely defined region between Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda in the North Atlantic Ocean. Aircraft and ships are said to have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The U.S. Navy claims it does not exist, and the name is not officially recognized, but people generally think it to be paranormal or something to do with extraterrestrial beings. Let's see. I'm trying to read back to some of the origins here. The earliest allegation of unusual disappearances dates back to 1950 and has continued ever since. In terms of the over, under, or appropriate on this one, I think, I don't know. That's a real tough one. I'm going to say, I think today it's overrated. But that's just because I think today most kind of urban legend-y things are. I think back in the 50s and the 60s, this would have been a lot more fun. But, today it's like no one really... Bigfoot, I think, is kind of the same way, where it's like it used to be fun.
It's lost its luster.
Yeah.
It's lost its charm, almost. It's as far as an urban myth goes, I guess it's one of those things that technology is kind of circumvented.
Yeah, we've kind of proven our way out of these things and everything, and then you find out things were exaggerated or weren't 100%, and you have the internet.
We found out what was behind the curtain. That's what we do. We pulled back the curtain and sort of expose the myth within.
Yeah, and it's not very fun. I love it. I think it's a cool story, but I just don't. I don't know. I just don't think it's as exciting as it once was.
I was about to spoil something. I'm not going to, though. It's my last discussion topic. It's going to be really good. It relates to something. We'll call it a phenomenon that's similar to it's sort of like the New Age or like the current Bermuda Triangle. It's the Bermuda Triangle of like the 21st century. It's cool. I don't think it definitely. I don't think it packs the punch that the Bermuda Triangle did. Yeah, in terms of as far as like urban legends go.
Yeah, it has the history behind it.
I'm not going to mention what it is. What the phenomenon.
I don't want to know. I'm excited to hear about it.
I've probably already said too much as it is. But so anyway, moving on. What is your verdict? The Bermuda Triangle.
I gotta say it's overrated. Until tomorrow, something interesting happens there. It's overrated. What about you?
Overrated. I'm really trying not to agree with you here on a topic, but it is very overrated. I guess something you could say about the Bermuda Triangle that is underrated. Research has not indicated a clear cause for the mysterious occurrences that surround the Bermuda Triangle, but a lot of them were coincidental, and related to mechanical failures, not like one specific like issue. Also, it's kind of like a made up geographical area. They kind of just chose 3 islands in the Caribbean and said, or rather in the South Atlantic, and they said, oh, these form a triangle, and look at this, all these planes mysteriously crash in the middle of this triangle.
But it's such a great shape.
Yeah, it's a very nice triangle. Do we have the triangle? Can we show it?
Oh yeah, I just had a map
I'm
up
looking
here.
at it here.
This is a really, here we go. We'll put this up on screen.
It's like
for
almost a
everyone to see.
perfect equilateral triangle. From
Yeah.
what it looks like here. It's a very nice looking.
To be
there
fair,
it is. Yeah.
it is very the exact dimensions are very loosely defined. Like there is no direct coordinates of the Bermuda Triangle, so they can draw it in any shape they want, really.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Is it's just such a broad geographic location that it's like circling the entire state of Texas and being like, "There's tornadoes here. It's tornadoes everywhere." Like that's kind of like what they're doing. They're making this little geographical distinction and saying, "Look at all the planes that crash here. We don't know why though." Could be that we just did a really crappy job making planes in the 1930s.
Honestly, that is most of it. Nothing.
Yeah.
According to the internet, nothing of interest has happened there in a couple decades. So.
Right. It's one of those things like myth debunked more or less.
Yep. Sadly, I'd have
to
say.
But yeah, it definitely it was an urban myth, a phenomenon, whatever you want to call it, that definitely had its run in history, and I guess it's worth mentioning just along the same lines as that book you mentioned in a previous podcast, where it was in our conspiracies show with the mole people, not the mole people.
Oh yeah, the Vril.
The Vril, yes,
the
Vril people,
yes,
and how they controlled everything. That was kind of like that, I guess.
Basically the same thing.
Basically the same.
All right, Matt. We can continue on to the next topic, which is.
Okay, it is my turn to pick the next topic.
Blow me away.
Here we go. The Mariana Trench.
Ah, that big deep crack in the ocean.
The big deep crack in the ocean.
Tell me more.
It's very almost like my last name. Mariana.
Oh, there you go. The Mariana Trench.
The Mariana Trench. I like to call it that. That's it's another thing entirely, but so the Mariana Trench. A couple of fun facts about it. Most famous, of course, is that it is the deepest part of the ocean. It's a large decline in the geography. It plummets to, and I have the numbers here, the Mariana Trench goes all the way down to about 1,580 miles. Oh, that's the length. It's about 1,580 miles in length. That's 2,550 kilometers for those of you who are listening in not America. The depth, however, it goes all the way down and reaches a maximum depth of about 10,994 meters, which is equivalent to about 6 miles, or actually more like 7 miles, which is really, really deep. At the deepest water column exerts a pressure overhead of about 1,086 bars, which is over 1,000 times the standard atmospheric pressure on land. Wow. So if you can imagine that. The section of the Mariana Trench that is the deepest is called the Challenger Deep, which is a small valley. It's shaped like a box, and it just goes down and down and down and down. Not only is it the lowest decline in the ocean, it is also the lowest. It's the Therefore, it's the physically the closest that we can possibly get to the center of the Earth without any extensive digging. However, the Mariana Trench is not the part of the seafloor that is closest to the center of the Earth. This is because Earth is not a perfect sphere. As a result, there are parts of the Arctic Ocean that are closer to Earth's center than at Challenger Deep. However, Challenger Deep is from a physical perspective, the deepest that you could go into the Earth, but not the closest to the core. You see, because the Earth is like this. Yeah.
Got it.
All right, so that's a whole bunch of fun facts about. One more quick fun fact is that microbial life forms have been found in the trench. The most popular of which are xenophyophores. Xenophyophores, which is a eukaryote. Oh, I remember that word from. Thank you very much, Dr. Timmel, 9th grade biology. The eukaryote, right? That's the one that has there's the prokaryote and there's the eukaryote, something to do with the nucleus. Like, I think eukaryotes don't have a nucleus. No, I'm sorry. I think they only have a nucleus of the cell, like the brain of the cell. The eukaryotes, the prokaryotes don't. I think that's how it goes, if I can keep it straight.
I'm going to have to take your word for it, Matt.
They're a bunch of little bacteria, and they live in the Mariana Trench. Other than that, really not much life down there. However, it is quite remarkable that life can even exist at that great density atmosphere. Oh, as recent as December of 2014, giant crustaceans have been found inhabiting the trench.
How would you like to see a picture, Matt?
I would love to see a picture of one. Wow.
This is one of the ones they pulled up there. Look at that. All you video viewers are getting a real treat. There they are.
Oh my goodness. I wonder what they would taste like.
I know, you'd certainly get a lot more of them.
Giant shrimps.
There's a really thrilled guy holding one. Yeah, you just wait, Matt, until they start breeding these. And
wow, look at those. Are those eyes located in like the front? Yeah, you see those big yellow circles. I wonder what. I mean, obviously, I think evolution has probably done away with the need for eyes for creatures that live close to the Earth's core. Like,
yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, wow. So there we go. Giant crustaceans. They name them supergiants.
Supergiant crustacean.
Supergiant.
That sounds
supergiant crustaceans.
That sounds like the villain in a Godzilla movie. Godzilla versus supergiant crustaceans.
Yeah.
So, Matt,
Sean, would you like to hear some really quick, some depressing news about the Mariana Trench?
Sure, Matt. Blow me away.
Just to bring the mood down.
Bring it home.
To bring the mood down a little bit after all that excitement about the supergiant crustaceans.
That's right.
The Mariana Trench has been proposed as a site for nuclear waste disposal.
Perfect. Well, listen, Matt, you either have to get it to the bottom of the ocean or shoot it into space. Really, your only other options.
Space. Obviously space, because then we can just build up a giant, like, nuclear defense shield against aliens.
Yeah, but Matt, that's...
And meteors.
Except when the rocket ship explodes and spreads nuclear waste across the atmosphere.
No. Yeah. We send it really far away.
No,
we
Matt.
shoot it into the sun.
Matt, several spaceships have exploded on launch. What happens if it explodes?
What happens if we send it into the sun?
Matt, I'm not disagreeing with you. We could do a whole episode on nuclear waste.
I don't want to blow up the sun though.
No.
We really need that.
I don't think you could blow up the sun.
Nuclear waste.
You blow up the moon. I don't think you could blow up the sun.
I wonder if we can selectively breed those supergiants to consume nuclear waste.
crustaceans that eat. They are trying to breed bacteria that eats nuclear waste. I know that.
Yes, I've heard about that. That's super interesting.
That's terrifying.
That's stuff that
nuclear-powered microbes. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Are you a fan of the Mariana Trench? What's your verdict here? Now that we're chock full of fun facts.
I am definitely a fan of the Mariana Trench. However, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's overrated. It might surprise a lot of you out there. It's overrated.
Surprised.
I think it's overrated because I think that it gets a lot of publicity compared to other parts of the ocean, and there are other parts of the ocean that are more worthy, I think, of publicity. Like, for example, the Arctic Ocean, very, very underrated ocean. There's a lot of exploration that we have not done beneath the crustal ice and the glaciers that make up the Arctic Ocean. And I think that that's definitely worthy of further research. Mary, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think that we should continue to research the Mariana Trench, but Arctic Ocean is way more fascinating. However, with those recent discoveries of those giant crustaceans, the super...
Oh no. Matt. Earth to Matt. Oh no, we lost Matt again. The Mariana Trench must have been listening in and decided to cut his connection before he said anything too controversial. Oh boy, we gotta get Matt a new router or a new internet connection or something. All right, well, fine, folks at home, thank you for listening. I'm going to put us on pause, and we'll be back momentarily with more Goldilocks Zone. Stick around. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah,
we're back. We're back with Matt here, ready to go.
Yes. So, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by my terrible Wi-Fi. The supergiants, I think, is a very great little moniker for the minor league baseball team. I think it would be a good minor league baseball team, the Supergiants, the Springfield Supergiants. Or are they already the Springfield Isotopes?
I think they're already the Isotopes, but you can change it. Sure, why not? It's fiction anyway.
That's right. Okay. I think I could imagine somebody in a Supergiants mascot outfit jumping around,
just a big crustacean
scaring
guy.
Children. I think they can make him really kid friendly though.
Sheldon the shrimp, Sheldon the super shrimp or something.
Sheldon the Supergiant, Steve the Supergiant. Stavros the Supergiant.
Another in a long list of slippery slope creative ideas we've had on this show.
Slippery slope. All right. So that's the Mariana Trench. Oh, you now it's your turn to register.
Now it's my I'm going to be quick on this because I mainly just don't care. It's a big hole in the ground, and people are interested because it's big. It's kind of like, why is Mount Everest a better mountain than the other mountains? Is it just because it's taller?
Did you know I'm going to spread a little bit of trivia wisdom
that you could fit the Mount Everest in the Mariana Trench and still have another mile on top of it?
That is a good bit of trivia. It was not the one I was going to go with, though, but it is a good bit of trivia.
Okay, go ahead.
So the little bit of trivia I was going to say was that Mount Everest is not actually the world's tallest mountain.
What?
It's not even the mountain that is closest to the sky or outer space, the stratosphere, however you want to say it. So first of all, the Mount Everest, right? It is dwarfed in comparison to this one mountain that is near Hawaii.
You're not going to say Space Mountain, right?
No, I don't remember. No, it's not Space Mountain. That's a ride in Disney World.
Okay, just making sure.
I can't remember the name of this mountain. I wish I could. It's located off the coast of Hawaii, which should tell you a little bit about why it's taller than Mount Everest. It's underwater.
Yeah, but that doesn't count because you can't climb it.
Water. It's still a mountain, though.
No.
It's still a geographic mountainous region. And if all of the oceans were drained, this mountain would be the tallest mountain on the planet. There is also a mountain that I also can't remember the name of, located in Ecuador, I believe. is technically it is the mountain that is located closest to the stratosphere, because again, the Earth is an oblate spheroid. So the equator goes like this, right? So these are the fattest regions of the fattest regions of the Earth are on the ends. Big circle, the ends. The equator,
I love the hand diagrams.
The equator is here in the middle, and here's our mountain, and then Everest is up like around here somewhere. Stage left. Yes. This is going to work really well with the people that are only listening to our podcast and not watching it.
Nope.
So anyway, that's the tallest mountain. It's not Everest.
Oh, Matt,
It's a trivia.
I between your science explanations and my crazy cackle laughter, people are just going to really be big fans of the show.
What a show.
What a show indeed. Yeah, so on the Mariana Trench, whatever. It's a big hole in the ground. Who cares? I will give credit for director James Cameron, who went down into it and got to the bottom. So let's all remember that great moment in American history.
Oh, that was wonderful. That produced a lot of great footage for everyone to watch.
He found some giant shrimp. Some jumbo shrimp.
Most people don't know that's what inspired his idea for the movie Baby's Day Out.
Thank you for that, Matt.
The James Cameron classic.
The James Cameron classic, Baby's Day Out. Too funny. All right. Let's see. We've got more to do. Let's see. I'll look at my list here. Oh, I don't know. There's actually a couple on here I really want to do. Let's talk about... Oh, I don't know. Let's talk about pollution. I want to talk about ocean pollution.
Wow. Okay.
I asked my coworkers at my job, I said, I'm talking about the ocean on the show tonight. What about the ocean should we talk about? And first they looked at me like I was a crazy person, and that's fair. That is the appropriate reaction when someone asks you to explain the ocean. The second reaction I got was from a coworker of mine who goes, well, you got to talk about pollution. And I said, what about pollution? There's just all this garbage in the ocean. You could talk about global warming. It's terrible.
As he dipped his hand into his bag of granola and
yeah, don't get me started.
Adjusted his PETA t-shirt.
Oh, you just won't believe all the pollution in the ocean. It's terrible. So yeah, so I don't have a Wikipedia page or a ton of stats or facts about how much pollution is in the ocean. There's a lot. I'm comfortable in saying that as some kind of fact. The point I want to make is we should be polluting the oceans.
What?
We should be encouraging people to pollute the oceans. And here's why.
Okay.
Brace yourself for this convoluted explanation. Human beings make garbage. That is a fact. Maybe we make more today than we used to, but at some point we are going to have waste, refuse. Some of it's going to be biodegradable. These days, some of it's not. That waste has to go somewhere, right? It doesn't magically disappear. You can't shoot it into space yet.
Not yet.
It's not economical at this point. We'll get there. Launch it into the sun. You got to do something with it, right? The problem is, Earth is 70% covered by water on its surface, which means there's only 30% of it land for us as people to live on, right? Stay with me here.
Okay.
Human beings make waste. If that waste stays on the land, it takes away from that 30%. So pretty soon, 29% is livable and 1% is waste, and then 2% is waste, and 5% is waste. Pretty soon there's too much waste, right? Try burying in a landfill, sure. Okay, maybe, but then you're just living on top of it and you're still making more anyway. However, go with me here. With the Earth being covered in ocean, I can't live on the ocean. I am not a fish. The ocean, I see once a year maybe, on a postcard. There's so much of it. We don't need all of it, right? So why not use it as a place to put our pollution, our garbage? Like you said, Matt, nuclear waste, for example. Maybe an extreme example, sure, but you can't put it anywhere near people, right? Because it's dangerous. So put it in the ocean where no one lives. Same goes for pollution. Put the pollution in the ocean because there's no other good place to put it. There. Pollution. Right. I am pro-pollution in the ocean. That
so
is
while you were providing that wonderful explanation, I was busy Googling the benefits of ocean pollution because I'm just curious to see if there are
Please tell me
actual benefits. You know what? eHow.com has come up with the advantages and disadvantages of polluting the ocean.
Of course they have.
And I'm going to read a couple of them because I don't know how else to respond to that diatribe of yours.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hazards are obvious.
Okay,
right?
that's not really a point.
Kill marine life, cause disease. There you go. Blah blah blah. But convenience.
Yes, it is.
The main
convenient.
reason that people and businesses dump at sea is that it is very easy.
Yes.
For an individual, there may be little bureaucracy and no landfill fees to pay.
Yep.
Naturally, something being illegal doesn't always prevent it from happening. And the oceans are a very difficult place to regulate.
Well, and if you think
you might
about it,
notice
the majority of the Earth's shipping traffic happens on the oceans. It would be convenient for those ships to just dump trash as they deliver goods. Go ahead, Matt.
Yes. Now, here's the good stuff. This is what I was looking for. This is really like the buried treasure of this article.
Sell me.
There are some items of trash that actually improve the marine environment. Artificial reefs provide a habitat for thousands of marine invertebrates and fish. Large items of trash, including old tires, decommissioned ships, and car bodies, have all been strategically placed to create artificial reefs. In the right location, trash can enhance rather than damage marine ecosystems.
Yes.
Score 1.
And as long as nobody notices that pollution is what originally damaged the natural reefs, then there's no problem here.
There you go. So rather than the beautiful, intricate coral reefs that the Lord above gave us,
we can sink old boats.
We're going to sink old boats and rubber hoses and cans of beer and turn them into the new habitats of the ocean.
And to the ocean, I say, you're welcome.
You're welcome, ocean. Wow. And you know what? There's a lot of things in the ocean that are terrifying. There's a lot of really scary things in the ocean, and I don't really want to be a part of.
Crustaceans?
Jesus, yeah. Look at that. If that thing went feral or, God forbid, it got a taste for human flesh,
oh boy, it'd be all over.
We'd be in a lot of trouble. We'd be in a lot of trouble.
A world of hurt.
So, I just found a fortune cookie on my desk.
Of course you did.
And it says, we must pollute the world's oceans to save us from ourselves.
Wow, that's shockingly accurate.
It says something else entirely.
I'm sure. All right, Matt. I won't make you try to go against me on this one. I realize I'm out on a limb. That's okay. Some of the
I don't know. I'm agreeing with you.
You're oh, good.
I'm agreeing with you. I think the ocean needs to be stocked.
The ocean needs to be like it's a menace taking over the world.
We haven't found a cure from cancer in the ocean, have we?
No. What has the ocean done for me lately?
It's looked really pretty. But then
Has
again,
it, though?
I think it might look even prettier if I start dumping crude oil into it.
I mean, if you think
nice syrupy black crude oil.
97% of the Earth's water is salt water in the oceans.
I can't drink salt water.
We don't need that.
What do we drink fresh water, buddy.
Man, the ocean sucks.
Here on land.
Boo.
Land is where it's at.
Land is where it's at. That is the that should have been the
for life.
In retrospect, that should have been the title of the episode. Land is where it's at.
The ocean.
Wow. That is spoken like a true human being. Let's continue on, Matt. Do you have something on your list you'd like to talk about?
I do. My question to you, though, is how far or close are we to the end of this show?
We can probably do your topic and then do the oceans as a whole.
Okay.
So
good.
Do your big.
This is where
ender.
I'm going to unleash the Kraken.
Oh, I'm jazzed. Let's do it.
That was a completely intentional pun because it's based on ocean things. Ready for this?
I'm so ready.
So, we talked about your Bermuda Triangle as a phenomenon that has sort of been debunked, thrown away, what have you. But there's another little known phenomenon out there that I discovered many years ago. It has to do with a sound. I wonder if I can pull it up, or if we can pull it up. The sound is a very loud sound. Comes from somewhere in the ocean. No one has any idea. Scientists have speculations as to what the sound is called. I mean, over where it comes from or what generates it. But what it's called, it's just called the bloop.
Oh yeah, the bloop.
The bloop. Okay, and that's the mystery. Oh.
I can play the bloop if you want to hear the bloop.
Yes.
What are you owing?
One article here that I must have overlooked in my research says that the mystery was solved.
Oh.
And we'll have evidence with that, but first let's play the clip. Let's play the sound.
I'm gonna try to play it. I make no promises here. But let's take a listen. Hang on. I have to just do some finagling here. Did you hear that?
Yes, I could hear that.
Here, I'll play it one more time for you at home. There you go.
Yes. So the sound that we were looking for in that clip was that staccato, just bloop.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Which is why it's called the bloop. Sounds an awful lot like bloop, like when you're in a swimming pool and you push the water underneath with your hands and it goes over your head. So for many years, the phenomenon was first discovered in the 1960s. Speculation began, everything from the Soviets, which is our typical go-to explanation for most conspiracies, all the way from the Soviets, all the way to aliens, to giant sea creatures that we haven't discovered yet.
Or if you saw the Animal Planet's fictional documentary, they blamed it on mermaids. Did you see that?
Mermaids? No, I didn't see that. Oh my God.
We can talk about this another time. It's called Mermaids, the Body Found, and it is a fake documentary made to look real about scientists who find evidence of mermaids. And it is overproduced and so friggin' hilarious. But
so what was that, like an April Fool's joke?
No, it was just something to get attention, and people thought it was real.
Okay.
Like the acting was terrible and it didn't make any sense. But people thought it was real.
It was one of those people thought it was real. Like,
it was like a 2-hour-long thing,
like the UFO landing.
And it was this, they had like the scientists who were like, "We couldn't believe what we had found. We didn't think it was possible. Mermaids." Wow. And anyway, they blamed the bloop on mermaids. So a little scientific fact in there. Anyway, continue. Okay. I thought that was funny.
That's just mermaids, things like that. That was what was the official cause, as far as we could tell, up until January of 2015 was when the mystery was finally solved, and the case was cracked by who else but British scientists working with American scientists. They have actually determined that the big bloop was caused by a giant interglacial earthquake.
An ice quake.
An ice quake. An ice quake. So basically 2 large sheets of ice colliding or moving apart. I didn't really see where that was in the article. It was an ice quake. That was the cause of the bloop, that big sound. And and I guess that's it. I guess the mystery was solved. That's really disappointing. That really takes the piss out of this whole story.
Well,
It kind of sucks.
Kind of cool.
Kind of sucks. I probably shouldn't have jumped the gun there, but our readers deserve to know the truth. Our listeners deserve to know the truth.
How about this, Matt? We'll leave them with this. The bloop was caused by ice quakes deep under the ocean, or is that what they want you to think?
Hopefully it's what they want you to think. Now, what's cool, what I thought was really cool when I first heard about the bloop, it was also along the same times I was reading H.P. Lovecraft, the horror fiction writer from the 1920s. And what the story said was that the coordinates on the map that the bloop appeared to be coming from were also the coordinates that matched the general location of the creature Cthulhu, probably the most famous creature of Lovecraftian lore. Cthulhu is essentially a massive is an understatement. He's like almost like a god, mixture of a god and an alien. He looks like a giant squid thing. Some people probably know what I'm talking about. And he lived under the ocean. And basically, if anybody even saw what he looked like, they would go insane and start mumbling gibberish, and eventually their brains would explode inside their skulls. So he was this creature, and there was a lot of speculation that maybe he was the cause of the bloop. So I thought that was always really cool.
I guess we'll have to leave them with that image.
So that's it.
That's it? That's it,
That's
Matt.
it. That's the bloop. Mystery solved.
Mystery solved on the bloop. Mystery solved on the oceans. It's time for us
solving a lot of mysteries.
Render
today.
our verdict overall on the ocean as a whole. Over, under, or appropriate. I'm going to jump in and go first.
You go first.
I'm going to go first. You got
a lot to think about here.
It's a tough decision. I get it. And listen, I've given a lot of crap to the ocean. Literally, I said we should pollute it. In addition to some of the other not nice things I said. Here's where I
wanted to actually give crap to the
ocean.
I
literally wanted to give crap to the ocean.
Like dump a lot of human garbage into the ocean. Kill a lot of wildlife.
And I stand by that.
In the process.
I am going to render my verdict on the ocean. Again, this is like when you do breakfast, it's like it's weird because it's a lot of things. The concept of an ocean, right? A large body of water full of life, full of mystery, full of interesting scientific discoveries. I think that concept is really underrated. I think that is so cool that there is just this world that we don't fit or belong in. It's very analogous to outer space in a way. Human beings should probably never go there, and yet we will. And what we will discover when we get there will be amazing. So in terms of the ocean, yeah, man, absolutely underrated. However, the Earth's oceans, maybe a little bit overrated. They're not that interesting. Going to outer space, they have oceans made of hydrocarbons. That sounds interesting. I'm just saying, yes. When it comes to the Earth's oceans, been there, done that. Yeah, okay, maybe we'll find some big shrimp at the bottom of a big hole, but, for the most part, I just think the Earth's oceans are a little overrated. I don't really see that much of an appeal. Yeah, I talked last week, waves are cool, and it's saltwater, it's kind of interesting, but I don't know, the appeal it sounds way better on paper than it is in reality. Maybe that's the way I'm going to put it, where the fantasy of the ocean is super cool. The reality of the ocean, it's kind of like the moon in a little bit, where it's like, on paper, is the moon made of cheese? Like the man in the moon, the cool mystery. And then we landed on it, and it's like, no, it's just kind of a big rock.
It's a whole lot of nothing.
That's lifeless. And the ocean kind of feels a little bit like that for me. So that's my thought. Well, the concept, underrated. Our oceans, a little overrated. What do you think, Matt?
Well, what I think is I was really hoping to piggyback onto your explanation, but you hit the nail on the head. I was going to mention the oceans of outer space, particularly the one on Europa. that's very interesting and definitely worth exploring. Not to say that the ocean isn't worth exploring. I think that they're both two different frontiers, space and Earth. And I think that Earth's oceans, and I think that humans just have this innate need to explore and to just continually find things out about their universe. I think that need to explore and that intrinsic desire to find out more and to constantly learn drives us, and that is something that is definitely underrated. I think we need a lot more people out there who are willing to take risks in the name of science and in the name of curiosity to just find out more about the universe, because in the process of finding more about the universe and the magical creatures that live within it, we find out more about ourselves.
Wow. That really touched me. Really touched me. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Wow. This was a deep episode. Not just plus in terms of the ocean, but
the big bloop sounded kind of like a fart, didn't it?
Yeah. It was kind of... Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Did someone like jostle a microphone or something?
Fart.
It was mermaids, clearly.
At first, maybe I thought that was Cthulhu, but
it's Cthulhu farting.
He had a little too much beans.
Oh, that would explain it. Very good. Well, that's the oceans. We do have some homework to do because, Matt, we had connection problems at the beginning of the show, which means we didn't answer last week's question. And you thought we'd forget.
I did.
We've got to do it, and we'll do it quickly here at the end of the show. I'm not worried about it. The question is, astronauts have discovered a new ocean beneath the surface of Mars. What would you name this ocean, and what will it be like? I will go first on this one, unless you have an answer. Okay, I know. I always reread these before we go on the air, so I have a bit of more prep than you do.
I'll have one.
But my answer is going to be super shitty, so get pumped for that. Because I thought several minutes on this, and I would call it Mars Ocean. I know.
Mars Ocean.
Mars Ocean. Kind of like the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean or the Antarctic Ocean or the Indian Ocean. I'm going to call it Mars Ocean.
Mars Ocean.
Because why reinvent the wheel? We already have a crappy naming convention for our oceans.
This is true.
Let's just keep that going. So I'm going to call it the Mars Ocean. Because I'm assuming Earth will get to pick it. Probably the United States will get to pick the name. And why name it some BS science-y thing? Just Mars Ocean. It's an ocean on Mars, Mars Ocean. What would it be like? I'm going to guess, and this is totally imagination-based and not in reality or science. None of the facts about Mars are included in this, so don't read into that. Boiling hot. It'll be boiling hot. It will be viscous. It won't be complete water. It will have some thickness to it, not quite a gravy, maybe a little less than that. But it will have some thickness to it, and it will be boiling hot. That is my prediction for Mars Ocean.
It's basically going to be magma.
Yes, but it's more.
But it's still water. Is it still?
It's more
like dihydrogen oxide.
Yes,
it's still water.
Yes.
In like a liquid state.
Yes.
Still.
Yes.
Okay. But it's boiling. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. That's my imagination at work. Matt, what do you think?
Okay. So first with the name, I was thinking along the lines. Now we've named the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean through, I think, two very different conventions. Obviously, the Atlantic Ocean comes from the Greek hero Atlas, who carried the world on his back in Greek legend. The Pacific Ocean comes from the Latin root pacifus, which means peace, pacifica.
I did not know that.
Or rather just pace, which is just peace or pax, however, whatever noun case you use. So that's where the term Pacific Ocean comes from, the peaceful ocean. I think that the ocean that we discover on Mars should follow the naming convention of the Pacific Ocean. I think we should call it like the peaceful ocean. But the irony will be that it's actually a very violent ocean filled with a lot of really, really horrific creatures that H.P. Lovecraft couldn't have come up with in his wildest nightmares.
Nice.
And they're constantly eating each other and killing each other over and over again for eternity. And we're going to call it, I didn't look it up, but whatever the word for peace is in Sanskrit, because Sanskrit's really cool. Little fun fact. Yoda from Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
movie you haven't seen yet.
Correct.
The word Yoda means warrior in
Oh.
Sanskrit,
I
the
didn't know.
ancient language from the Indian subcontinent. So that's a little interesting fun fact again. But yeah, that's, you know what, maybe we'll just call the ocean Yoda.
Yoda.
The
Okay.
Yoda Ocean.
Yoda Ocean. I like it. That
Yes.
is a very good answer. All right, Matt. We've answered this week's question. We got to tease them one for next week. How about this? If the oceans could be personified, which ocean would you want to meet and hang out with and have fun with? You have several to choose from: Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, Antarctic, and so on and so forth. So pick one. Which would you want to meet? Give us your answer at Goldilocks Show on Twitter. And again, GoldilocksShow.com is the website, and SoundCloud.com/GoldilocksShow as well. Matt, anything else that people should know before we conclude this week?
Yes. Happiness is enjoying what you got, never from what you want.
Oh, that is... Honestly, this is like a show chock full of things you could print on a t-shirt. I love it. I did have one other thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to do this on air because I think it's more fun. What are we going to talk about on next week's show? I have an idea, unless you have something you want to bring up.
No, what's your idea?
Okay. I had this fun idea. Matt, are you a fan of game shows?
Yes.
You like game shows?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. So what I was thinking of, what if we did a two-parter episode, okay?
Oh, okay.
In the first part,
About
next
game
week,
shows.
we will
Okay.
do a normal Goldilocks Zone episode. We'll pick a couple shows, and we'll talk about them. Your Jeopardies, your Wheel of Fortunes, your Price is Rights. We'll give our opinions on those, right? Sound good?
Sounds good.
On the second episode, we are going to actually host a game show. We're going to bring on a contestant, and they are going to challenge you, Matt, our resident
Oh,
expert. Who
all right.
can you stump Matt? Head-to-head battle for the ultimate Goldilocks Zone supremacy, our own game show. How does that sound?
Hey, I'm game. Yeah.
Oh, bring on
Bring
all
it
challengers.
on. Bring it on. Bring on all challengers. I got this. I got a big book of useless trivia right over off camera.
And I
So-
guarantee it won't be easy for you or your competitor. If you would like to compete on the Goldilocks Zone game show, let us know at Goldilocks Show on Twitter, GoldilocksShow@gmail.com. And we might cast you on the show as well.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
I love it. All right. Well, we appreciate all of you out there for joining us this week. We'll see you next week for our discussion on game shows right here on the Goldilocks Zone. Have a great one.